Hello and welcome to ETBFSI.com by the Economic Times. Today we're joined by the Managing Director and CEO of Indian Bank, Mr. Binod Kumar. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Sir, congratulations on the December quarter results. I'll start with my first question, which is on the margin. Industry-wide pressure has been there because of the consequent rate cuts. For Indian Bank, sequentially, it has seen an upward movement. But if we talk about the year-on-year basis, it's still a bit of decline. What's your largest strategy on the net interest margin front, and what's working for you? Because at the end of the day, we've seen an improvement on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So help us understand the whole net interest dynamics.
Yeah. See, already repo rate cut of 125 basis has happened. So it was expected that NIM will go down. Now, question was to how to contain that. So if you see, I have been able to contain to the large extent because against a 125 basis rate cut on YoY basis, it has gone down by only 17 basis point. So largely, I have been able to maintain NIM. And also, if you see at the beginning of the year, I have given guidance of around 15, 3 between 3.15 to 3.30 domestic. And domestic NIM, I have maintained at 3.40. So I have done better than the guidance on the NIM side. How I have maintained that? Two, three strategy we have done. Low yielding advances. Wherever we are not very aggressive in the few of the accounts where margin is very thin. We are not after this, such type of account, number one. Number two, consistently we are working on the CASA. If you see this quarter, my CASA growth is around 9.86%. Even saving fund has also grown by 8%, current account by 19%. So CASA we have been, and there has been, of course, it is marginal, but there has been uptick in the CASA as compared to September from 38.87 to 39.08. And one more thing, bulk whatever I had at I have maintained that at the same level as September. That has also helped us in maintaining the margin. So it is a mix of a strategy, how to bring down the cost, how to increase yield on advances, which portfolio to enter into, which portfolio not to enter into. So lot of permutation combination we did, and that's why you have seen sequentially 6 basis point uptick in the margin.
Sure, what happens if we witness another rate cut, which is slated to happen on 6th of February? What will be your outlook and strategy?
Of course, if there is a rate cut, then there will be another impact of 6 to 7 basis point on the NIM because then already if you see bulk rate has already gone up as compared to December by 20-30 basis points. So there will be impact of 6 to 7 basis points.
Sure, sir. Now we'll talk about retail and corporate book for Indian Bank. I see the retail share, the RAM share particularly, has been rising. It stands at 66% for Q3 FY26. Now, this is a trend that we are seeing all across the industry, lesser corporate, more towards RAM. Uh, is this cycle or is this a structural shift you're targeting? And for a longer term, what is the RAM share and the corporate share you've kept in mind for Indian Bank?
I'm at that level only. My target is to maintain between 65 to 70% of the RAM and
Okay.
30% to 35% of the corporate. I'm already in that bracket. RAM, you see, RAM, all segments are retail also, MSME, agriculture also, we are seeing good traction in that. Just to add, housing loan rate is at 7.05%, lowest housing rate. Best borrower will get at 7.05%, you can imagine. So good traction we are seeing in housing loan. Of course, property prices has gone up little bit, but still because of the benefit in the rate of interest, we are seeing good traction in the housing loan. Vehicle loan also because of the GST cut, etc. 44% growth in vehicle loan is around 44%. So that segment is also growing healthy. Mortgage loan also we are seeing good track. Even in corporate, few of the sector specific, I will say, we are seeing good track. Like in green finance, we are seeing good track. Data warehouse, we are seeing good track. Logistics sector, we are seeing good track. So sector wise, even in corporate, we are seeing good traction.
So when you say 65 to 70% is the bracket, Do you want to achieve 70% in RAM, or what is it like? Do you want to inch upwards in terms of building the RAM book higher?
I will try to maintain at the same level between say 66, 66, 67. But even if it goes to 70, I won't mind. But that will happen very gradually. If at all that happens, that will happen very gradually.
Yes, sir. What is the kind of corporate pipeline does Indian Bank have?
Corporate pipeline, I have pipeline of around 50,000 crore for corporate pipeline. And just to add, whatever we have sanctioned in the last full financial year, we have already surpassed that in the this financial year. And a lot of traction we are seeing in the corporate also, but corporates only we are entering into where I mean price is not very competitive and good rated accounts, good having good background. So corporate a little bit, I mean we are taking conscious call.
Sir, any numbers on the pipeline that you can share?
50,000 I told.
Also, if I talk about the risks associated in retail lending, because more and more lenders are seeing an increase towards that, what is it that you will point out and would like to be cautious about going forward?
Only thing, I mean, personal loan segment, we are not there.
Okay.
So we are very careful in that. Even credit card, I mean, we are not there. Our exposure in credit card is also only 500 odd crore. But in housing loan, see, now since prices has gone up and interest rate is at the lowest level. So only thing I will like to be cautious that when interest rate goes up, people should have enough liquidity to pay back the loan. So that I will be mindful and will be looking that their strength, whether they will be able to, even if interest rate, we will do some simulation also. If say interest rate goes up by 1% or 2%, then will they able to pay back? So that area I will be cautious.
Sure, sir. Noted. I'll talk about yield on advances. So, what's causing the pressure on yield on advances? How would you justify that, and what corrective measures would you like to take going forward?
Yeah. So yield on advances, if you see, it is direct proportional to the repo rate cut. So because of repo rate cut, yield on advances has gone down. But I think now we are reaching a stage where we have almost come to the end of the cycle of benign interest rate because now inflation has also started inching up. Economy is already doing good. Prediction is of a very good prediction. Economic growth is predicted. So maybe we are at the bottom of the this NIM pressure and yield on advances pressure. Going forward, it will improve.
Sure, sir. Noted. I'll talk about the cost to income ratio. That is seeing some sort of spike for you. Where is where are you seeing this hike coming from? What is costing you more, and what are your focus areas that you're spending on?
Yeah, so IT spend that is one area which is inching up. Plus,
Okay.
staff we have given some benefit to the staff that has also added to my cost to income ratio. So my emphasis is not to curtail the expenditure, but to how to increase income.
Okay.
So we are working on various ways how to increase income, I will say fee-based income. I am trying to fee-based income as a proportion of total income. It is around 6 to 7%. I want to take it to gradually. Of course, it will take 2 3 years, even more than that, but ultimately to 14 to 15%. If I am able to do that, my cost to income ratio will be under control.
Sure, noted. I'll also talk about the priority sector lending revised guidelines that recently came. And a more important question for you also, because Indian Bank is a public sector bank. So, how do you look at those norms? Does it impact you in any way?
No, we will not have any adverse impact because we have, if you see against a target of 40%, we are already at 43.15%. So we will not be impacted much because of that. Only few things we will have to do data capturing, etc. We will have to improve system improvement. We have to do, but I don't see much of challenge on complying with the priority sector norms.
Sir, another important question on the deposit strategy for Indian Bank. Help us understand and delve a little deeper into what's driving your deposit strategy, because that's a challenge that the largest of lenders today are facing.
Yes, very rightly told. Deposit raising is a challenge. I mean, not. I will rather put it like this: deposit raising is not a challenge. but at what cost to be raised is a challenge. Deposit
Yes.
will be available in the market, but at what cost? Whether it suits our requirement or not, that is the challenge. So we have, as earlier also I told, we are trying to reduce our dependence on bulk deposit as far as possible. Definitely, we cannot take it out completely, but we are trying to reduce that, which constitute around 18% of my total deposit. So working on that, how I can reduce that, number one. Number two, gradually we are focusing on the retail term deposit. Normal growth of 13 to 14% is coming. So that is not cause of concern. Cause of concern remains only the CASA. So CASA, lot of initiative we have done. As a part of a strategy, we are trying to increase cross sell and product per customer. My product per customer is around two. I aspire to make it up to five. Of course, that is going to take a long time, but I aspire to make it up to five. So CASA salary account in this quarter, I have opened 80,000 salary, approximately 80,000 salary account. So consistently, we are focusing on salary account. Consistently, we are focusing on ways how we can have float for even 1 or 2 days. So volume, I am trying to, instead of relying on the bulk, I am trying to increase the volume. For example, I have given fintech solution to around 22 different government departments. So there some float will be there. So we are trying to diversify the base, customer base also, the government department base also, other area also, so that we can have good float at least.
Sure, noted, sir. I'll move on to the next question, and that I'll talk about the labor codes that came in. Uh, is there any impact or any buffer or provisions that you've kept keeping in lieu the labor codes that have come in quarter three or going forward?
Labor code, we don't have much contractual employee, so impact on us will not be that much. I have only 15 contractual employee, and we have assessed requirement of that is only 56 lakhs. So we are not impacted by that, because our employee are basically on the roll, and if you see the basic and DA will be higher, because other allowances are not very high in banks. So itself, basic and DA itself constitute more than 50%. So impact may not be much for us.
Sure. If I talk about hiring in FY26 for you, how close are you to meeting those targets, and what are your hiring plans for the next fiscal? Have you drawn out the details? And I'll also combine my other question here, sir. If you see all the foreign lenders, we have seen reports coming of foreign lenders announcing layoffs in their respective banks. A recent report by Morgan Stanley, and that is about jobs, basically jobs in Europe, banking jobs in Europe. The case is very different for India in terms of artificial intelligence and banks kind of adopting artificial intelligence. So, does AI come into picture when you think of hiring for Indian bank? Yes, these two.
Yeah, yes. So this year, so far, I have hired around 3,000 persons.
Okay.
Next year, somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000, depending on the requirement. But
Okay.
we are also going in for a specialized hiring. This year, I don't remember number exactly, but we have gone for a specialized hiring even for in area of cyber security, risk management, IT professionals, legal professionals, HR professionals. We have gone for hiring of them also, and also for the I mean for credit vertical also, chartered accountants and MBA. So we are also doing a specialized hiring. Going forward, I see how I see IT and AI. If you see in the last, I mean, it's not only for Indian bank, almost it will be true for all the banks. Business of all the banks have grown. Say last 5 years, it must have doubled. But staff strength maybe has not increased in that proportion. So that is
Okay.
the benefit of IT. IT is helping us in garnering business, more business with less human power resources. So benefit of AI, I think that will also add to that. We can do many things, job which we can shift to AI. and we can deploy that manpower to marketing or some other area. So it will be basically churning of the resources. So I don't see any layoff on account of AI, but maybe future requirement of manpower that we will have to see.
Sir, how aggressive is Indian Bank on artificial intelligence adoption?
Very aggressive. Already we have started using for knowledge imparting, for fraud risk management. We have already started, and also for churn model for which customer is likely to leave. So many area we have already started. But my next target, next ambition is to use AI in operations in a big way, like
Okay.
signature verification, current account opening. If I am aspiring, if a current account opening can have also happen with the help of AI, all KYC etc. can be done, a risk score can be developed. Then personal finance management, we are trying to do that for through AI. Grievance redressal, automated grievance redressal using AI. So somebody said I have seen complaint, most of the complaints come for say charges only, how why some charges has been debited. So these things can be replied by the automatically. I mean, I don't need any caller for that. So we are planning to go AI in big way in operations and other areas, risk management.
So noted on those points. Also, how much of the OPEX and CAPEX goes towards IT spends for you? If we talk about this fiscal, and if you could also help me understand whether it has increased over the years or decreased over the years, and what are the plans looking like for future? Of course, if not being able to quantify whether it's going to go upward or downward, what's in the spending part of IT?
See, my IT spend OPEX and CAPEX, I will not be able to give you separately, but my IT spend is around 1900 crore,
Okay.
which is going up. Last 2 3 year back, it was around 12 to 13, 13, between 13 to 1500 crores. So it has gone up. Going forward also, I think IT spend will increase only because of the technology, as you have rightly told, AI etc., adoption of AI. Like we have gone for next generation call center, which has been made operational this year itself. We are going for CRM, supply chain finance we have done. So all these things ultimately will increase our IT cost.
Sure, sir. If I talk about lending to NBFCs, stance has been cautious for a lot of lenders. So, what is your stance in lending to NBFCs, and how do you see the trajectory going forward? And I'll add co-lending to it. Revised norms have become effective from January 1st, 2026. What's your stance about the new norms, and how big are you going to go, or what are your plans on these two fronts? Lending to NBFCs and then exploring co-lending partnerships.
So lending into NBFCs, we also remain cautious. If you see from March, it was around 62,000 crore my exposure to NBFC, which has come down around 56, 57,000 crore. So we have been cautious. Plus, we have made more change in our strategy. Earlier, few of the sanctions were also done for the triple B plus or EA rated NBFCs. But now we are cautious, and even for triple A rated, we are thinking whether they will be able to repay or not in case of bad time. So we are cautious in that, and going forward also, I will be cautious because NBFC growth is they are growing at a very rapid pace. So I will remain cautious. As far as co-lending is concerned, we have a small co-lending book, but we are in the process of developing the software. Until I have a software where reconciliation is the biggest challenge in co-lending. Until I have a foolproof solution of reconciliation, I will not go for co-lending, but we are working on that, and hopefully, otherwise co-lending is a very, very good tool. We get source leads. We have to only work on that. So that is a very good concept. But only thing, the problem arises if reconciliation is not proper. Because in their book account may be standard, in my book account become NPA. So ultimately that will spoil even civil score of the customers. So until I have foolproof solution, we will wait.
Sir, any timeline for you on by when you will be done with the software that you?
Working on that, working on that. So will
Okay.
not be able to give timeline for that.
Understood. Sir, I wanted to talk about the transfer policy at Indian Bank, and this is something I'm talking from the perspective of, if you remember, Finance Minister had flagged this about 2 months ago. uh, Minister's point was that when staff is transferred to a region where they cannot speak the regional language, it impacts the customer service. While Indian Bank has most of its branches in South India, what is the transfer policy like there, and how do you train staff in the regional language to enhance customer experience, and what are your priorities on that front particularly?
Yeah, so a very pertinent question you have asked. So on transfer policy, our endeavor, our policy says if vacancy lies in the same region, people are to be retained in same region. But if say there is no vacancy, of course they will have to move to the other region. But our primary efforts is to maintain the people in the same region, don't disturb them much, because then
Okay.
they go somewhere else. That is a huge, discomfort to them also. And also we have gone for the selection of local bank officer. We have had around 200 local bank officer that will cater to the need of regional requirement of the bank. And also when somebody is shifted to other geographical location, we give them training. We have devised books also, we have devised audio clipping also, and we are calling them and giving them training, and we are making a special efforts for that also, so that wherever they are working, some local people come to them with the converse in the local language, they should be able to reply. So that is our endeavor, and giving good result also.
So my final question to you would be, when we discuss, Indian lenders making it to the top 100 global banks list, there are currently two of them. What is your stance in this, and how is Indian Bank sort of getting towards this particular idea and, growing bigger and bigger? And what would be your long-term strategy on this particular front?
We are working, I aspire and working in that direction, that Indian Bank at one point of time reach in top 100 category. Even before taking charge, I had that vision. In between the time when I was selected and I joined here, so I had that vision, and working on that, will be happy to share with you that I have made a vision document. Indian Bank will be completing 125 year in the year financial in the year 2032. So I have made a document aspiring that my business in 2032 will reach 35 trillion. So from present level of 14 lakh crore to 35 trillion, that means 2.5 times. So that is my vision, and I'm pretty hopeful that I will achieve this. Why I'm saying this, hope I will explain. When I took charge here in December, in January 2025, December figure was 12.62. And I have made an appeal to all the staff, and they have really, come up very well. They have responded very positively that we will double business figure in 5 years. That means 12.62 December 24 to December 29. I have to make it 25,000 crore, 25 lakh crore. For that, I need a growth
Okay.
of 13%, and we are growing at 13%. I'm also happy to share with you that in 1 year, from December 24 to December 25, I have added 1,70,000 crore. Already I have
Wow.
added 1,70,000 crore. So people, I appreciate the workforce who have aligned with my vision, and they are working very hard, wholeheartedly, to achieve that vision. So with the support of all of them, I am quite hopeful that Indian Bank at some point of time, I cannot say the time when they will, at some point of time will be in top 100 category.
Sir, I really hope you inch towards that. In fact, I'd ask you, it's exactly a year for you at Indian Bank when you transition from PNB to Indian as the MD and CEO. So my last question to you would be, what are your learnings so far being at the top?
Yeah, see, I will talk about this bank. This bank is a very good bank, very system oriented bank. People are very hardworking. they work with the, I mean, you give, as I told you in example, you give them vision and they aspire to achieve it. So, going forward also, we are working on many areas which will take bank further. IT initiative, we are taking many IT initiative. Many MSME initiative we are also taking, many corporate, even corporate lending we are initiating. So that will take bank to further strength.
Sure, sir. I really hope that happens for you. Thank you so much for sharing all the meaningful insight. Thank you so
Thank
much for watching etbfsi.com.